Alright, so we got something interesting. A reporter was caught on a hot mic. By the way, shout out to NFL Dov here, posting this. But a reporter was caught on a hot mic saying this about Steffon Diggs. We'll listen up, and then I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions of the whole thing afterwards to kind of, go through it.
I think they're trying for Steph. Steph and Micah is who they're trying for. Hey, there's no control over Steffon Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Diggs gonna do what he wants to do.
Coming over there.
Nope. He'll look at my face and say F you. How he treats everybody.
Yeah. So, let's break this down, right? So, obviously, she did not know she was on a hot mic. It's one of the reporters. They were waiting for what she said, Steffon Diggs and Micah Hyde to come to the podium and start talking. And again, she did not know she was on a hot mic. She thought she was just talking to a colleague, and that no, information was actually, being said. Now, I will say this to her point. This is probably not something that is the first time ever said about a player, Steffon Diggs or whoever, right? From these reporters. A lot of times these reporters, I'm sure they do complain to each other about players all the time. Oh, he's not saying this. He's not giving us information here. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. I'm sure that's a fact, right? I'm sure she's not just her is the only person who would say this about Steffon Diggs. I'm sure this is not just her is the person who would say this about any player, right? So, I think reporters do trash talk players. That's what I'm trying to say, to each other. So, I don't think this is a new thing that is happening where it's like, oh my gosh, a reporter is trashing a player. And I will say overall wise, I do understand the frustrations from some of these players. And you got to look at the other side of the fence too. These reporters always ask these players, some really just leading questions. Some questions that are literally just meant to create a storyline, even if there's no story to be there, right? And we look at last season, right? And we go into the, the Buccaneers with Janavi Bernard. How last year he fumbled the game away, right? I think it was last year in the playoffs. He fumbled the game away, and a reporter came up to him, and this is after, by the way, this is after he's about to go take a shower, and after taking a shower, he's going to go hang out with his family, right? A reporter, they bum rush him, and they say, oh, blah, blah, what happened? And, he's like, hey, listen, I got to go take a shower, I'll be back, everything good. And the reporter goes, well, you missed part of the, and I think it was a female reporter too. She said something like, you missed part of the season. At least you can do is, answer our questions now. Like, oh, you weren't here for us this whole entire season because he was injured, right? And she's like, at least you could do is answer our questions now. Like, just absolutely asinine when it comes to a response to him. Like, he even said, like, hey, listen, I'll go answer your questions. I just want to go ahead and, I want to go and, I think it was either see his family or take a shower. Something like that. She bull rushed him. I actually want to bring up the exact quote of, what was said here. So, this is exactly, again, like I said, a reason why players hate reporters.
Well, you were injured all year.
What have you done for us to talk to you about all year? I talked to you Tuesday. Just don't say you're not talking because I didn't talk to you all year.
You were also injured most of the season too.
Just relax. Can I go to my family that I have outside? And
You
all
can.
of a sudden now?
Just don't say we didn't talk to you all year.
We just wanted to ask for your perspective on what happened
You're
there.
involved in one of the biggest plays of the game.
Okay.
Thank you, Jude.
I appreciate
That's
your
all.
time, we do.
We won't hold you.
So, again, I understand the frustration with the players to these reporters. I mean, this guy is, and my bad, I thought he was going to go take a shower. He was just going to go see his family. And he even said, I'll see my family, I'll come right back and answer your questions. But they literally said, what have you done for us all year? You've been injured all year. You just cost us the game. What have you done for us? And first off, for Bernard to keep his cool here, I think is honestly very commendable for him and very respectful of him to keep his cool even though, like, again, he didn't have to. At the end of the day, he could have went the, F off on her. He could have. But instead, he kept his cool, and he chilled, and he said, okay, whatever. I'm just answering your questions. He tried to go see his family after a game. That, yeah, he's upset about it. He fumbled. I think he fumbled a snap or something on the punt. On a fake punt, he fumbled a snap. And he's upset about it. He is, right? He just lost the playoff game. But instead of, them saying, okay, you know what, can you go see your family? Can you talk to us afterwards? We just really want to talk to you. Right? That's that, okay? Instead, to have the response of this.
See, I'll talk to you this week.
Well, you were injured all year.
What have you done for us to talk to you about all year? I talked to you Tuesday. Just don't say you're.
What have you done to us all year? You were injured all year. He wants to go see his family. Be respectful in any way possible. So, again, like I said, I understand the perspective of, the NFL player not being very nice to reporters. I understand that perspective. Because a lot of times, reporters are not respectful to the player in any way possible. And I'm not sitting here saying that Steffon Diggs is, quote unquote, a great guy when it comes to reporters, always very nice and sweet. And yeah, okay, Steffon Diggs is a grown man. At the end of the day, will there be times where he'll go, and say bad things to a reporter, say bad things to somebody? Yes. He's not perfect. Nobody is. But I don't think that, in the context of like, oh, well, he runs this. Again, he is I don't think Steffon Diggs is a diva wide receiver. He's up there for diva receivers. He's not like a complete on Antonio Brown diva receiver, but he is definitely up there for diva receivers, and it's just, goes with the position. When you're a star receiver, sometimes you're going to be a diva, right? It is what it is. But I don't think that has anything to do with, how the media treats players. And yeah, you expect the players to be like, oh yeah, we're going to be all good, happy, every single time. But yet the media treats them like that. So, again, listen, it is what it is. I don't think anyone should disrespect anyone. And it goes both ways, I will say that. So, in the context of, she should not be told to her face or in anyone's face that, F you. And, like, looking right in the face, say that is wrong. That is disgraceful. You should not do that as a player. But you have to understand the frustrations of players when these media personnel, and I'm not saying all of them do it, not all of them do it, but there's enough that do it just like that is just outrageous. It really is. It's outrageous. And then there was that one. Actually, no, that wasn't a reporter. Never mind. Actually, no, was it a reporter? I think it was a reporter. There was a reporter who said that they literally only talk to players so that they can get them angry, so that they can get hit, and then they could sue the player and then live lavish lives. Like, again, it's crazy. But here's something that Steffon Diggs does before every single game. This is, like, out of context, I guess you could say, because it's like, well, it doesn't matter if if he does this before games with fans and he does all this stuff. It doesn't matter how he acts with reporters and how he presents himself. But at the same time, though, Steffon Diggs is not a bad guy. Yes, there was animosity between him and Josh Allen this offseason. There was rumors of him wanting to get out of Buffalo. But I don't think he's a bad guy because reporters egg him on and try to get him upset and try to get him to create storylines for them. And then when they don't, they're just usually a lot of times rude and arrogant toward him or any player. And then they get upset when the player, pretty much gives the same exact, opinion, feelings back. But again, like I said, I don't know the whole context of the story between Steffon Diggs and her, especially. I don't know if, maybe she was very respectful and she was very nice. But I think what ends up happening is it's like the idea of one bad apple spoils the bunch, right? One bad apple can make the whole entire sprue of apples bad. Because, again, you just simply are, it's grouped in, right? It's just, it is what it is. So, if one reporter, like, that last reporter with Bernard, is sitting there and, saying all this stuff to him and being disrespectful and being awful, then yeah, that's one bad reporter is going to spoil the bunch. Guess what? The rest of the time, he's not going to be nice to any other reporters. Because he's going to be like, oh my gosh, come on now. Like, I just dealt with this, right? And again, like I said, I understand the context of everything, but, you know, after a loss, especially, again, players already upset, already, you know, not in a good mindset. Steffon Diggs, obviously, there was animosity between him and Josh Allen over the last year with getting the football. So there's so many different factors. Again, I am not trying to, you know, excuse his actions. If he did say to her, you know, F you to her face, and that's absolutely disgusting. He should not be doing that. You gotta present himself a little bit better in that context. But if he was rude or just demeanor was, I don't care, I don't think it's, you know, unwarranted with everything being said. But you know what? That's just my personal opinion, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.